Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afqer, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. As always, feel very happy when we connect here on the show in this space. And so thank you for sharing with us this time and sharing with us your beautiful energy. So very grateful for that. And also very excited that Catherine O'Connor is back on the show. She joined us, I think, last year. It was on the autumn or fall season, and I really, for me, the experience was really, really profound. I knew, like I felt beforehand, that it will be special, but when I experienced that during the live call, the call that we did, it was really powerful, and I felt how to say, coming back to my presence, feeling that peacefulness and centeredness right away when she started doing the transmission, and also the guidance that she brought, the information. It was very, very inspiring, and also we received great feedback from you who watched or listened to that call. So very excited that she's back, and so today it will be about sovereignty, the essence of sovereignty, and the 5 keys to sovereignty. So she will be sharing a transmission about that, and so just for those of you who are new to Catherine, she is the founder of the Divine Temple, sacred architect, scribe of infinite knowledge and divine love, and initiated into the lineage of thought. And with that, Catherine, welcome back to the show. Very happy to have you with us.
Thank you, Monsef. I'm really delighted to be here. It's a real treat. So thank you.
Wonderful. And so in the beginning, for those of our audience who are new to you, I would love if you can maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself and your work.
Yes, so the work I do is to work with soul and divine alignment. The essence of my work is to bring you back into yourself, to really bring you back into your true self. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about your multidimensionality. So your self in terms of the humanness of who you are, the self in terms of your soul, the self in terms of your divinity, your inner light, and that is the multidimensionality. That is the way in which you express yourselves in so many planes of existence. So it's really to bring you into that experience of what you already are, and to reawaken or to awaken within you kind of the remembering of who you are. And that can include releasing, it can include, always does include activations at the DNA or at the soul level. So that's the essence of my work. And the purpose of doing that is kind of to bring you into inner harmony, so that you have those beautiful experiences of being in an inner peace, inner love. And also to then have the capability and the inner resources to express that in your life. So as Rudolf Steiner said, to mold, to take life and create it as is aligned for you in each and every now moment. So that's the essence of my work, and I do that through channeling. So I have many beings of light that I connect with and bring through, and they bring through their divine frequencies, they bring through their energies, and my primary access point is Thoth, and then Isis and Hathor kind of are very much part of that as well, that kind of trilology. So that's me, that's essence. Yeah, and I do that at the company Divine Temple.
Yeah, wonderful. So, thank you so much, Catherine. And so today's subject is about sovereignty, and it's very connected to the essence of your work that you just shared now. And we feel that we are called to embody our sovereignty more and more recently, and not only the way we connect to ourselves or we live our life, but also in the way we relate to other people and also in the collective. It's more about letting go of separation or comparison or competition, and more into raising all of us into our own sovereignty and our own empowerment. So yeah, in the beginning, I would love if you can tell us from your own perspective, how do you see sovereignty? How what is it, and how can it be reflected in our physical life?
Yeah, that's a really beautiful question, Monsef. Thank you for that question. So on a, like me, so the way, like the guides are really present. So there's a little bit of the guides coming through at the same time. Like for me, there is sovereignty, for me does encompass, first, like for me, the grounding rod is alignment. So it is alignment to my soul and to my inner divinity, to my inner truth. And that often comes through like we have a central channel that runs through us. So that is having that central channel really aligned, and then also having the horizontal plane. So that's on a kind of energetic and a physical level. I find that is essential. And then the inner alignment to my soul and to my inner divinity, then that gives me access to my truth. And from that place of that stance of inner truth is then the kind of the essence of love and wisdom that then is able to be accessed and accessed, and then coming into that kind of that place of really expressing that, like being willing to so it's not just me knowing my truth, it's me being willing to share that truth in a way that's very loving, so in a way that's very fifth dimensional. And the expression of that truth can be in many ways. It can be through the voice, through how I articulate it. It can be through action. It can just be through presence. So that's very much part of the autonomy. I mean, there are so many aspects to it. Another aspect of it that I find is essential is like it's also a being state. So it's being able to be present with whatever is arising. So that means whatever arising in me. So whatever feelings that are arising in my system, like being able to be present with them and not necessarily act out of them, but be able to go, oh, actually, this is what's arising in my system. What is this? What's the information in this for me? And how do I work with this? How do I express this? How do I mold this? So that it expresses into my life in a way that is really loving and very truthful and expansive. So for me, those are huge keys. And sometimes it takes slowing down. Like sometimes it really takes just slowing everything down and taking the time to breathe and taking the time to be with ourselves or be with myself, so that I can allow the processes that are running in my system to be known to me and to process. Yeah, so that for me is another real key. I mean, I feel like I could talk for hours about the subject, so just kind of like giving like kind of like drops.
Right. Yeah, I love your description, and as you were talking about that, I thought about those situations where when we want to express our sovereignty, like instead of doing that in a loving way, like you mentioned, sometimes it comes more as a rebellion. We rebel against others, and many times this happens because of the traumas that we've been in the past, and it's part of it. We want to feel heard and understood, but just the way we do it, it's more it can come strong. So what is your advice on how to handle those situations?
Yeah, that's another really beautiful question and such a key question. So my advice is like, I think slowing down is the real key, and coming into that kind of that space where it's easier to be with ourselves. Because yes, we all have those trigger points or those trauma points that come from either past lives or present lives or both. So the first key is to become conscious of them. And part of being conscious, the way to become conscious of them often is slowing down or listening to our dreams or journaling or being with a guide that can, like being with a person like a friend or a practitioner, or who can help, can assist you to kind of be aware. And then the next piece of the process I feel very strongly about is there are many ways to how do I say, unlock, clear, like release the traumas. Like I think it's one thing to become really conscious of it and in a state of sovereignty. The empowerment piece is about like sitting with it and acknowledging it, and then releasing it, like knowing that it is a trigger, it is a trauma, it is unprocessed emotions that come from a time and a space that is no longer like it's no longer real. Well, it never was, but it's no longer actually happening in your life right now. And even that acknowledgement can help shift those trigger and trauma points. So that would be my next piece, is to either kind of meditate and release it, have a practitioner assist, so
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And especially like having the awareness of those situations, it can really, it's like it starts the process of releasing and healing. Because when it becomes challenging is when we are not aware of what is happening, and we keep believing on the right to maybe to fight against others so we can feel understood. And at some point it feel, how to say, we will feel tired at some point when we do this.
Yeah. And I think that you bring up another really good point, is that often what's underneath this is the desire to be seen and heard. It's a fundamental desire. And the truth is that we are always seen. Like, we are always seen. The divine sees us always. And just tuning into the guides, no, they're just still letting me speak, is that and I think that's the gift of working with a practitioner, is that like the experience of being seen is becomes available in those really sacred containers.
Right, absolutely. Beautiful. So also part of the call is the 5 keys of sovereignty. Would you like to share about those?
Yes, I'd love to share about those, and this is when the guys really want to come up. Naha kina raka ka raka ka ake, so welcome. Ina raka ki aka ake nei, ina aka ake nei. So we just brought in a little bit of light language to just assist in this transition from Catherine speaking to us speaking now. We really acknowledge Catherine's in-depth knowledge on the subject, and we are really excited to step forward and co-create this with you and with her. And we welcome all of you who are listening to this recording. We have, we are on the higher planes. We are called in your higher selves, so that although you may not be listening right now, when you do listen, you are connected to your higher self, you're connected to your divine soul, and you're connected to your divine essence. So that this conversation happens in a way that you can receive it in the most aligned and optimal way for you and your system. So we're just laying some groundwork here for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure and a delight. Like we are so delighted to be talking about the subject of sovereignty, as it is such a key. Now, there's been a lot of talk about authenticity, and authenticity is part of the key of sovereignty. So the first key we would really talk about is, so the first one that we really downloaded with Catherine earlier before this call was this idea of empowerment. Now, empowerment is a state of being in which you are standing in a very in a place of love and a place of power. So when we say power, we're not talking about power over and power under, and this is the paradigm shift from the three-dimensional consciousness to more the fifth and beyond. What we're talking about is an inner state of power, an inner state of sitting with yourself, so that as you sit with yourself, you come into that essential place within yourself. And this is often rooted in it is rooted in the central channel, but where you find your innate power is in your root chakra and in your solar plexus. Root, sacral, solar plexus, it's in the lower chakras is often where this power piece resides, and it's having this part of the central channel clear and fired up so that you can access that sense of power, that sense of passion, that sense of rootedness and groundedness in the earth star and nature, and that sense of inner autonomy in who you are, inner knowing in your own desires, in that which you most require, that which is aligned for you. So it's having yourself, it's being in this state of truth within your own self, so that when you kind of engage in the world or engage with another, you are rooted in your own sense of power, your own sense of who you are at this level. The second piece of empowerment that we would speak about is this combination of love and wisdom. Now, this combination of love and wisdom, Isis is really present as she brings through these frequencies of love and wisdom very innately and powerfully. So love is in the heart chakra, and wisdom also resides in the heart chakra. Shiraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Akai. So we bring through a little bit of light language, because what we would like to do is we'd like to bring through that frequency of wisdom and that frequency of love, just for you to experience it. Sinaraka, Kiraka, Ka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Kiraka, Ka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Nina, Aka, Akai, Ne. So in a very empowered. Shiraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Ashiraka, Ki, Aka, Akai, Ne. So activating the Raka, Kinaraka, Ka, Shiraka, Ka, Akai. So just awakening very gently. Shiraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Inaraka, Ka, Aka, Aka, Akai, Ne. The solar plexus, Naraka, Ka, Akai, the sacral, Naraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Akai, and the root. Shiraka, Ki, Aka, Akai, Ne, Kiai. Hunaraka, Ki, Aka, Akai, Ne. And then awakening very gently that inner sense of wisdom, or the inner sense of love that resides within the heart through the frequencies of Isis. Shiraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Shiraka, Ki, Aka, Akai, Ne, Ki, Aka, Akai, Ne, Ki, Aka, Akai, Ne. Ishiraka, Ishiraka, Ki, Aka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Inaraka, Ka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Ki, Aka, Aka, Ka, Akai. So what this is also doing is it's awakening the central channel. For the central channel, Naraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Aka, Akai. So we're doing a bit of a weaving and a spiraling around these access points, or these keys to sovereignty. So as the central channel awakens, Naraka, Kinaraka, Ka, Shiraka, Ka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Kiai, you may be noticing that your system begins to come into a deeper sense of alignment. Na Aka, Inaraka, Ka, Aka, Akai, Ne, Kiai. So this inner sense of alignment, Naraka, Ka, Ashiraka, Ka, Akai, is another very essential key to sovereignty. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka aka ne inaraka. So as you come into this deep space, shiraka ka aka, there you go, as you are experiencing more of an alignment of your central channel, more of your central channel awakening. Inaraka ki aka aka ne inaraka ka aka aka. This does a number of things. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka. It gives you deeper access to your own sovereignty. Gives you deeper access to source light, so to the frequencies that come through the central channel from source. So these are frequencies that feed you and nourish you and activate the re-remembering of the codes of sovereignty. And so this other piece of being sovereign is very much about coming into relationship with yourself. So this gentle alignment or awakening of the central channel is an access point to coming into this deep space of relationship with yourself. For to be in a place of empowerment, a place of sovereignty, one of the essential keys is to have a relationship with yourself. And some of you may notice, and we are noticing within the group field, that the soul is calling you to come into a deeper relationship with your soul. So again, activating and just gently aligning the central channel is enabling this experience of, or opening the door to this to an experience of having a relationship with your soul. So we call this becoming soul aligned. Inaraka ka aka aka, inaraka ki aka aka ne. Uraraka ki aka aka ne. So as the soul is calling, here we go. So we're providing frequencies as we speak to assist you, to assist this relationship with the soul to be amplified. So in essence, to attune you to the soul's voice, to your soul's voice. So for many, this experience can also bring up what was earlier referred to in the conversation as pain points or trigger points or trauma points. And this is because the soul is carrying deep memories of experiences where the soul felt, experienced things that were not soul aligned, we're not divine aligned, we're not sovereign. There we go. So as we speak about this was providing a lens onto the soul that speaks to the soul's central kind of desire and your desire to be seen and heard. So Monsief's articulated a really beautiful point that at the essence, each of you desires to be seen. And as such, the soul desires to be seen and known by you. So the next place that we've been guided, that the group is calling for, that is a very important part of sovereignty, has been grounded on the earth star. Anaraka ki aka aka ne ki asharaka ka aka. So you may imagine from your feet that there are roots going down from your feet. Down, 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 down. Okay. To the central crystalline core of Mother Earth. And there is a root going down, there is like a root, but like a tree going down from your base chakra, your root chakra, and also connecting to the central line core of Mother Earth. And okay, so as this occurs, Mother Earth gives up her frequencies of divine love back into your system. Okay. So what this is doing is it's assisting you to stay rooted and grounded. And again, this is another key to sovereignty. Anaraka ki aka aka ne kia. So as you come into the state of being present, there you go, with the earth star, present with her vibrations, what she is doing is she assisting each of you to become present with yourself. And this is another essential key of sovereignty, is presence with yourself. For as you come into a state of presence with yourself, you are more available to listen or be present with that which arises within your system. Anaraka ki aka aka naraka ki aka. So we bring in a little bit of light language just to assist. Shiraka ki aka aka inaraka ka aka. And we invite each of you to become Shiraka ki aka aka, present to that which is arising within you. Simply be with yourself. It's nothing. Inaraka ka aka. So we bring in a little bit of the divine stillness ray to assist here. There we go. So as you're present with that which is arising within your system, simply be with it. There is no action required. Anaraka ki aka aka ne ki raka ka aka aka ne. Shiraka kia aka aka ne. So as this conversation in the beginning, there was some talk of trigger and trauma points, and that when they arise in your everyday life, that one key to working with them is to notice them, to be conscious of them, to know that the experience is no longer happening, that the experience of the trauma point or the trigger point comes from another time and space. And so as you're present with yourself and present in this now moment with that which is arising, just invite you to release anything that is of no longer service, that does come from energies that have been stuck in your system or repressed, or there we go, and just allow them to go. And we are providing energies to assist you. Inaraka ka ashraka ki aka aka ne ki raka ka aka ne ki. Isharaka naraka ka aka aka ne ki. Ooh. As you're dissolving and sending to the light, and we're each assisting you, your guides are assisting you, There we go. Nā hei kina raka ka shiraka ka aka aka nei ki raka ka aka aka nei. We're also bringing in a few shiraka ki aka aka kina raka, just a few codes of light. Shiraka ka aka on the kind of empowerment ray, shiraka kinaraka ka akai of wisdom, naraka kinaraka ka akai of empowerment, naraka kinaraka ka shiraka ka akai, to awaken within you, naraka kinaraka ka akai, that sense, that experience, naraka ki akai of your own empowerment. Shiraka kinaraka ka akai, as you're rooted and grounded on the earth star. Shiraka kinaraka ka ki akai, you also, naraka kinaraka ka akai, are requiring and requesting, shiraka ka akai, at this point in this conversation, naraka kinaraka ka akai, the experience, shiraka ka akai, of empowerment, of codes of love, of codes of wisdom, naraka kinaraka ka akai, of codes of power, of being shiraka kinaraka ka akai, deeply rooted in your own sovereignty, naraka ki aka akai na ki akai, deeply rooted in your own divine autonomy, naraka kinaraka ka shiraka ka akai, in your central channel, naraka kinaraka ka shiraka ka aka akai nei. Shiraka ki ake, with the access point to your soul. Shiraka kinaraka ka ake, an access point to your divine light. Shiraka kinaraka ka a, shiraka ki aka ake ne ki aka ake ne. Shiraka ki aka ake ne. And part of this process of shiraka kinaraka ka ake, coming into a place of sovereignty, is being willing to express naraka ka ake, that divine light within. Shiraka kinaraka ka ake, that soul essence, naraka ki ake, through all states, naraka ki ake, through the being state of who it is that you are. Shiraka kinaraka ka, shiraka kinaraka ka ake, inaraka ka, shiraka kinaraka ka aka ake ne ki aka ake ne. So some of you may notice that naraka ka ake, and certainly we are noticing that there are shiraka ka ake, shiraka ka ake, inaraka ka, shiraka ka ake, cells within the body, meridians within the body, shiraka ki ake, that are coming to life, that are activating naraka kinaraka ka ake. For as you connect deeply to the earth star, as you are grounded, naraka kinaraka ka ake, this provides shiraka ka ake, inaraka ka ake, ease and grace for your system as you receive shiraka ki ake, a tincture of these empowerment codes and experience of them. Shiraka kinaraka ka ake, to awaken within you, nanaka ka ake, your own deep divine inner knowing of who it is that you are. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka ake ne ki aka ake ne. For in this lifetime, nanaka ki aka ake ne, inaraka ka ake, it is shiraka ka ake, a universal theme to come into a deep relationship with yourself, to be yourself. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka aka ake, and this is the alignment and the authenticity piece. Shiraka ki aka ake ne, inaraka ka aka ake ne, the sovereignty piece is being willing to stand in that shiraka ka ake, place of empowerment, that place of alignment, that place of autonomy, that place of making choices for yourself. Shiraka ki ake, that are aligned for you and no one else. Shiraka kinaraka ka, shiraka ka aka ake ne ki ai. And ake, to do this in the vibration of love. For as Monsif brought up earlier in the conversation, shiraka ka ake, shiraka ki ake, a confusion for many. Shiraka ka ake is that sovereignty. Naraka ka ake is done shiraka ka ake kind of regardless of anyone else, or shiraka ka ake, speak your truth, shiraka ka ake, inaraka ka ake, whatever. This is not what we call sovereignty. Shiraka ka ake, sovereignty comes from a place of love. Shiraka kinaraka ka, shiraka ka ake, so it is raising your vibration, shiraka ka ake, into this love dimension, into this fifth dimension, and acting in this shiraka ki ake, to come into sovereignty, to run these codes of love, these sovereignty, these codes of power, these codes of wisdom, in this fifth dimensional frequency of love, to act out of love. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka ake, this central cornerstone of love. Shiraka kinaraka ka ake, this fifth dimensional shiraka ka ake, inaraka ka ake, way of being present in the heart, of being present in love, naraka ka ake, and expressing everything through love. Shiraka ki aka aka ake ne. You can say no with love. Shiraka ki aka ake, inaraka ka ake. You can say naraka ka ake. You can speak your truth with love. Naraka ka ake. You can say, I do not agree with that, in love. Naraka kinaraka ka aka aka ake. You can stand in the face, naraka kinaraka ka ake, inaraka ka ake, of that which is not aligned, naraka ka ake, in love. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka ake, inaraka ka ake. You can sign your petitions, begins Naraka ki naraka ka ake in love, with love, in the vibration of love. Shiraka ki ake, you can act Naraka ka ake in all those ways. Shiraka ki ake, that the Earth Star is calling you to act out of this vibration of love. Shiraka ka ake, you can stand in truth of who it is that you are. Shiraka ka ake, and ask for that which you require from a place of love. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka aka ne inaraka ka aka. Ishiraka ki aka aka ne inaraka ka aka. There is so much that is available to you now on the Earth Star as you stand in this place of love. Shiraka ki aka, and articulate your truth from this place of love. So we shiraka ka aka inaraka ka aka. We'll recap briefly, and then we would love shiraka ka aka any questions from Monsieur or any reflections naraka ka aka. For we know we have spoken for quite a while, and naraka ka aka aka naraka ka aka. This is a conversation. Shiraka ki aka aka ne ki aka aka ne ki ai. So is there anything that Shiraka ka ake is stepping forward for you to speak of or ask about or reflect upon one step at this point?
First, thank you so much for the transmission and also the light language. I'll just say I went really deep into that space, and yes, sometimes I find myself flowing in that energy. So thank you so much. And so I love the different points that you talked about describing the keys of sovereignty, and for me my question is, how to say, in those situations where we are trying to honor ourselves, but at the same time it feels like, how to say, for example, in a relationship, like where two people are together, like they want different things. So one person wants to support the other, but at the same time, they don't want to let go or give up on their own choice. So it feels more like sovereignty and honoring one's needs and choices. So what will be your advice in those situations?
Anaraka kira kakai. That's such a beautiful question and such a common experience as people are navigating this sovereignty piece. Naraka ka asharaka ka akai. So naraka ka akai, in essence, relationships become ease-filled when both parties are in their own state of sovereignty. Shiraka ka ake, standing in their own vibration of authenticity. So we would first say that this is as individuals come into greater and greater states of sovereignty and alignment with themselves, this will kind of like no longer be the case. Like there won't be that, it just will dissipate. However, as we are progressing, or as you are progressing, the world and humanity is progressing on this, and really the multiverse. What we would suggest is that when two people are in conflict, what we would suggest is that each of you take space, that you come into a place of recognition that you're in conflict, and conflict is not going to go anywhere. So to take space to do whatever you need to do to come back to yourself, whether it's go for a walk, meditate, do some yoga, speak to a friend, but come into a space where you can come into that sense of inner neutrality. And from that space of inner neutrality, to really sit and ask, what is it in me that has been triggered? Like, what is my part of the 50-yard line? In conflict, what will have happened is a trigger point will have been something inside each party will have been ignited. And it is part of sovereignty is coming into, okay, so what is it in me that has, or what is it in myself, what is it in you that has been triggered, and then to work with that in the ways we've spoken of. So that is in conflict. When it is more in that divine alignment state of loving presence with each other, and we will use we'll try and keep it like, maybe an example will be really helpful here. There is like, maybe you've woken up on a Sunday morning with your beloved, and there's that sense it's a beautiful day. The day is free, and both of you are desiring to enjoy the day. And one desires to go for a walk and in the bush, and the other desires to stay at home and have a really relaxing morning. Anaraka ki akai, and there is a deep desire to be together, to do these things together. Shiraka kinaraka ka aka akai ne, ki asharaka ka aka akai ne. So in these states, naraka kinaraka ka shiraka ka akai, again, it's very similar. Shiraka ka akai, we would invite Shinaraka ka akai to come into an aligned autonomous state as much as is possible in the moment. Naraka ka akai, ashiraka ka akai, and then to be with each other, to take 5 minutes, even in the silence, naraka ki akai, of being present with yourself, being present with the other, naraka ka aka akai ne, and asking that the most aligned naraka ki aka akai, inaraka ka akai solution arise, the most aligned kind of divine plan arise from each of your individual desires, naraka kinaraka ka shiraka ka akai, and allow that to drop into the field. Shiraka ki aka akai ne, inaraka ka akai. And as that drops in, naraka ki aka akai, inaraka ka aka akai ne, inaraka ka akai, inaraka, to be willing to let go, or kind of really articulate what is right for you. And it may be that you choose to go for a walk on the beach together, or it may be that you choose to have breakfast together, then go for a walk. It may be that you choose to have some time doing your own separate things, naraka ka aka akai, naraka ka akai, and then come together later. So it is still really about listening, so much about listening and tuning into your own self and finding that navigating point. And we would say that and then these are the middle ground, like it might be, like, just to keep things really simple, like leaving do you leave the toothpaste on the counter, or do you put it in a cupboard? It's like, again, it's like sitting together in the presence of yourself and the presence of the other, and allowing the aligned solution to present itself.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Does that help? Is that clear? So it's
Yeah,
kind of a combination of the both.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love your answer. That's it just aligns when both are more in their own presence and connected to the essence of their soul. It makes the co-creation much easier and more flowing. And also another question about autonomy, because it's part of the 5 keys.
Mm-hmm.
And
we will name the 5 keys so that it's clear. Yeah.
Because many times when we approach spirituality, the concepts of spirituality, we try to apply them like 100% in our life. And here what I want to say is, as humans, we also need to experience love from others and be in a community. And sometimes when we hear autonomy, we feel like we can always be autonomous on our own. So how to find the balance to like
that's again,
that's
such a beautiful question. Yeah. So yes, autonomy in the old paradigm did kind of mean like I do it on my own, like I muscle this out and like no one helps me. And that's not what we mean by autonomy. Autonomy in the 5th dimension is absolutely presence in community. It is presence with your loved ones. It is presence with yourself. And it really is about presence. So it's about being present. So that in the presence of who you are and the emanation of that presence, we're making our own decisions. in community, in relationship, with love. Shiraka ka akai, inaraka ka shiraka ki akai. So we just so we had these 5 keys. So the first was empowerment, which we've spoken about, and this is the second that Monsef is speaking to, which is autonomy. So just to give a little bit of an experience of autonomy in this 5th dimensional paradigm of living. Shiraka ki aka aka nei inaraka ka akai. So just bringing through a little bit of the energy for you to experience of autonomy, of being truly yourself, and expressing who you truly are in relationship, in community, in your life, 100% of the time. So you're 100% you. There is no room for anyone else but you being you. And it is in being who you are, full out, in relationship, that as another is being them, full out in presence, they're being with their presence and being with themselves fully, that magic happens, that divine creation happens. So autonomy really is presence. It is being present with yourself, and it's being you full out. You 100% who you are. There's no room for anyone else. And that does not mean that there's no room for anyone else and that everyone else has to be pushed away. It means that the space in which you occupy is full of you, and the space in which someone else occupies is full of them. And is in that, it is in the space between that creation happens. Is this a bit clearer?
Yeah, it's very clear. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I love that because it really changed the way we see relating to other people, whether in community or relationship. It feels like more safe to just be ourselves, to be in our power, and this it will not, how to say, will not take others power away, but it's more also, it will be also encouraging them to be in that space, to be fully themselves. And yeah, because when we want something for ourselves, we want it for others as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in this new paradigm of consciousness, it really is, as we give, we receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. So I think you already talked about the 5 keys, right? And so applying that to, because a big part of our audience, they are more stepping into sharing their own gifts, or some of them, they are already on their path, but they want to go to move forward or move to the next level. So how can we, what can help us to be in our own sovereignty, especially in when online, when we are presented to maybe too many people, and there is part of us who want to please others and try to maybe share exactly what others want. So how can we maybe keep being in our sovereignty, be our own self while serving others?
That's a beautiful piece. That's a really that's an essential, that is a really beautiful question, and it's an essential piece of being a when we're like, if, as you're speaking about, like if we as a practitioner or as a light worker, or as like in any role in which we are being in our lives, and what we hear you saying is that those of you who are contributing at this level, that perhaps are working with groups of people or working with people in whatever capacity that might be, that there can be part of what might have brought you into this field is your own natural empathy or known natural love for others. Shiraka Ka'ake, and sometimes this can lead into like feeling responsible or overgiving or losing your own sense of autonomy, your own sense of power out of the desire to be of service to another. The first thing we would say is the greatest service that you can do for another is to be aligned to yourself, to be in your own power, to be in your own sovereignty. That's the first key, is that is the greatest service that you can do for anyone. The other greatest service that you can do for anyone is to know that each individual has their own path. Each individual has their own soul divine path. And that naraka ki aka ake inaraka ka ake, we know that you would not want to rob someone of their own divine joy. And part of their own divine joy and their own divine bliss is walking their soul path, is igniting their own gifts and walking their soul path. So we'd say that is another key, is knowing within your own system that one of the greatest gifts you can give another is to hold space for them as they walk their own path, as they come into their own sovereignty. So that would be the second piece. The third piece we would say is, again, anywhere in your system where you are feeling pulled by another, again, is pointing to something within you that is asking to be healed, is asking it to be aligned. So so Catherine like is super sensitive, so she will feel everything that the group is feeling. So at the moment she can feel this in the group field, and it is a very deep how should we say trauma or trigger within this community. And that is with, and we mean that, we say that in the most loving way, because it's not isolated to this community. It's like it's so in the Earth Star. And it comes from, for many, it comes from those really, for many of you, it will come from those past lives in Atlantis, or in Lemuria, where there was the great fall, where things did not go, were not happening in alignment, and your deep desire to hold that template in place, kind of like it initiated within the Starseed community, kind of from that point onwards, and then also with the other dark ages. This, how do we say it? It's this combination of holding back and of overgiving, of the kind of the trauma points, the trigger points. So again, we would say, let it go. Like, it's time to let it go. It really is time to let it go. It is of no longer service to you or to the Earth Star or to humanity. Shiraka kinaraka ka ashiraka kinaraka ka shiraka ki aka akane ki aka akane ki raka ka aka akane. And the essence naraka kinaraka ka aka akane ki ashiraka ka aka, as you release this and let it go. Shiraka ki aka akana aka aka is to come into balance, naraka ki aka aka inaraka ka aka, with your own divine feminine empowerment codes, that creative energy, and your own divine masculine empowerment codes. Shiraka ki aka aka akane, that sword in the ground, that no, that protective energy. Shiraka ki aka akane ki aka, and know that each of you is on naraka ka ashiraka ka aka aka akane, a very aligned divine path of light and love. Shiraka ki aka akane ki araka ka aka akane, and you can do no wrong. Shiraka ki aka akane ki aka akane ki sharaka sharakane ki.
Beautiful. Yeah, I really love I loved your answer and transmission. Yeah, it was profound. So thank you so much. And also you are offering like you and Catherine offering a private session for our audience. It's 75 minutes private session, and I invite everyone to visit the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Catherine, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Catherine, CATHERINE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the replay page and also on the YouTube video description. And yeah, I would love if you can tell us what our audience can experience with you.
Yes, so I'm delighted to offer this one-on-one transmission. So we will deepen further into the conversation that we've had around sovereignty. Okay, so so we'll deepen into the codes in you that so we'll activate within you the codes of sovereignty that you're most desiring. So the 5 keys have been, empowerment, autonomy, alignment, love, and then choice, really. So we'll bring through activations for each of those lines in the hologram to assist you to come into a state of sovereignty. We will align your central channel, align your horizontal channel, and release anything that's arising within you that is standing in the way of you coming into that state of true sovereignty in yourself. Yeah, so that might be more of what we were doing in these transmissions, or they've been like this conversation has brought in both a conversation around sovereignty, and there's also experiences of some of the transmissions. So essentially it will just be a deeper experience of what you've already experienced, but a very personal one. So it's absolutely tailored for you. And then along with that, with every transmission, there is always a 24-hour energy vortex that goes with that. So there's a very nourishing energetic container for you to be able to receive and transmute and activate anything that is required for you to come into a greater state of sovereignty in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Therefore, thank you so much, Catherine, and the guys. Really, very grateful to you for offering your time and also your support to our audience through the session. And yeah, I really love like the group sessions that you do, and also I believe that the one-on-one session will be much deeper, more profound, and like you said, more personal, and touches the receiver on depending on their personal life and personal path. So really thank you so much for offering that. And yeah, so everyone, I really recommend that you work one-on-one with Catherine. And the link again is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Catherine, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Catherine, CATHERINE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the replay page, or on the yeah, it's not a button, it's the link will be on the YouTube video description. And also we are offering free gifts. It's Sacred Divine Stillness. It's 25 minutes meditation. Also the link will be in both YouTube and the replay page. So yeah, I would love if you can tell us about that meditation.
Yes, sure. So yeah, so divine stillness. So one of the programs that I offer is so there are a couple of programs. One is Source Love Codes, and then another program is Divine Presence. So both divine stillness and the sovereignty, those are in the Divine Presence program. So divine stillness is a key to coming into so the purpose of that program is to bring you into embodiment of the divine, of your divine self. So divine stillness is a key to coming to embody the divine within and to express that. And so the divine stillness takes you into a deep state of presence with yourself through stillness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Catherine. And yeah, also I recommend that you watch and you experience the meditation. It's 25 minutes meditation, and the link again, it will be on the YouTube video description and the replay page. And yeah, Catherine, really thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you for the time you spent with us, the information, the inspiration, and also the energy that's and presence that you shared with us today. It was really, really inspiring and powerful. So thank you so much.
It's a real pleasure, Monsef. It's been an absolute delight to be here. I love co-creating with you and your audience,
Me too.
and your community. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Catherine. And also everyone, thank you so much for being with us today, for watching this replay or listening to it. Yeah, so with that, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.